161, great to make the hook up there, Matt.
That's user about.
Yeah, Matt, J. Juliet Alpha Yankee was my name for your further.
Hi, this is CBRadioMagazine.com, and today I'm going to talk to you about buying and selling radios online. I get questions from people asking me where I pick up some of these older radios, and they're wondering, how do you buy used radios, make sure you're getting something that's working, and where do you buy them from? So I wanted to go through, show a couple of the websites where I buy and sell, and just give a little bit of detail about what's good and bad about buying on those websites. And also, I'll just give you a little information about, as a buyer or seller, some things that'll help you protect yourself and help you make sure you get a good deal and help you sell your radios if you're selling. So let's jump into it, and the first website we'll take a look at is eBay. So, of course, most of you are pretty familiar with eBay. You probably bought things on there before, and you can just type in CB Radio into your search box, or you can go into the Consumer Electronics section, go into Radio Communication, and there is a CB Radio section there. In that CB Radio section, you can just look generally through the items, or you can go in and look for CB radios and type in something specific, like SSB for single sideband, and you can do a search in that CB Radio section and find single sideband radios. Nice thing about eBay is it's got its categories down pretty well nowadays, so you can go through and find what you're looking for fairly easily. You'll see a mix of new items that are being sold by dealers on the website. You also will find private party used radios. One of the first things I tell people is if you want a radio that's working, don't take a risk on any of these ones that are labeled for parts or not working. Unless you actually know something about repairing radios, or you're willing to take a big risk on a radio that isn't working or may not be working, don't bid on these ones or buy these ones on the Buy It Now. Parts are not working radios. Usually something's wrong. In this case, this guy's saying that power's up, there's no receive and no transmit. And sometimes, it's an easy fix for these things, but, I usually don't have time to waste trying to diagnose problems on radios. I just, want to buy and use them if I'm using them for the reviews or whatever. So sometimes, too, people will list the radio as for parts are not working just because they don't know how a CB radio works. That's also taking a bit of a risk. So generally, I avoid these types of radios. The next thing I'll just mention is with pictures and descriptions. When you're buying a radio on eBay, you want to look for somebody that's posted good pictures. And as a seller, post good pictures of your radio. Post, 5-6 photos at the very least. Show good in-focus photos. Here's an example of somebody, sorry if this is your ad, but your photos just aren't great. They don't show the whole radio. Not a whole, they're a little bit blurry. And description-wise, you want to make sure you write a description that tells everything that's going on with the radio. A lot of the people on eBay, maybe they don't know much about radios, so they don't list a whole lot. Here's a description. It says, here's a radio, President AM single sideband radio. It powers on. It appears to be working condition, but I'm no expert, so you may want to ask. These types of things, it's a bit of a crapshoot with that. So you want to make sure you look for ads that have good pictures and good descriptions. This is an example of somebody that their pictures are pretty good. At least they're fairly clear. You can see the radio is, good picture of the front, good picture of the back. But here's a great description. They've listed everything that's going on with the radio. They obviously know a little bit about radios, so they've listed when it's from, when it was manufactured, that it was tested. They said the radio worked well. And they list every little problem that's going on with it. They show that the controls all work except for the SWR calibration knob. They talk about the wear on the radio. It's got scratches. It shows heavy signs of wear, blemishes, small holes in the case covers, scratches, that there's a segment in the channel display that's not working. So here's somebody that really knows their radios pretty well. They told you everything that's going on with it. They say that the radio, it's working great otherwise than some cosmetic and a couple control issues, but everything else seems to be working well. That's a good description. You also want to look for seller information. This is somebody that sells quite a few radios. They have radio in the title. They have a lot of sales. You can see 531 there, and they also have 100% positive feedback. So those are all things you want to look for. When you're a seller, make sure you list good descriptions. It helps people know what's going on with your radio. When you go to sell an item on eBay, The biggest problem is they charge you. They charge you to list your item. They charge you to sell your item, and you could sell a $150 item, and they might end up taking $15 of your sale. Also, you can't list amplifiers or exports on here; they get kicked off. So, some of the ups and downs about selling on eBay. The next place I like to buy and sell is CB Radio forums. Here's a good forum, the Worldwide Radio Forum. This is a great forum to belong to. They have lots of good people on here, good information. Not a whole lot of people ragging on each other, that kind of stuff going on, but it's a fairly good open forum, so it's a nice one. Good for sale section in here. There's always good items in here, usually pretty good prices. Forums generally will have a for sale section on them. Sometimes they're a little bit more categorized, sometimes not. In this case, antennas are mixed in with radio, so sometimes it's a little hard to figure out what you're looking at. Sometimes these aren't the easiest to see how long an ad's been up or if it's active either. Sometimes they have ads that are older. But you can go in here, you can list items for sale, you can list pictures and descriptions. This is a good place to buy and sell stuff. The people on here usually know each other, so you know that you're probably dealing with someone who knows these other people. They're not going to try and screw you over. Otherwise, everybody on the forum is going to know about it when you type about it. The main problem with forums is you do have to be a member, so you have to register if you're going to buy or if you're going to sell. If to make any contact or send messages on a forum, of course, you have to be a member. This forum, the sign up is a little bit lengthy. It's not too bad. Some forums, the registration process is a little convoluted, so it can be a little annoying. If you're just going to try and sell or buy an item, it's not real easy to get involved and do it real quick. So, if you're going to be a member of a forum, join a forum and then buy and sell. A lot of them actually require you to have 50 posts in other sections and stuff before you can sell items. That's to try and protect people, to make sure people aren't coming on here just to buy or sell. But, the nice things about forums is it does show how many posts people have in the forums, how many times they've written something, when they join the forum, where they're from, those types of things. And the other nice thing about radio forums is usually the people in the forums know radios, so they know if a radio's working. They can test it out for you if you have questions. So it's a little bit more hobby-based, so it's a good place to buy and sell. Prices, sometimes you get screaming deals on forums. Other times, because people are in the hobby, they try and charge a little bit too much sometimes on forums, a little bit more than stuff is worth. So kind of hit or miss in that case. The next thing I'll talk about is Craigslist. Craigslist is a great place to buy or sell stuff locally. It's free to list. The search, you go to your city area, and then you type in what you're looking for. If you type in something like CB Radio and you're just looking, you'll find ads on there. You'll find ads from stores, like this one, for instance. You'll also find ads for other stuff that aren't really exactly what you're looking for. You'll see the first ad here is for a boat. Just they have CB on the boat, and it's in the description, so it comes up that way. And so when you go through Craigslist, you have to search through a little bit more carefully. It's kind of like going to a garage sale to find what you're looking for. Generally speaking, you're going to have to type in something like CB radio to find CB radios, or ham radio to find ham radios. A lot of people don't list pictures on here, which can be a little bit annoying. A lot of the people that list on here will list a phone number, maybe say don't email or things like that. Craigslist is hit or miss with condition. Some people describe stuff better than it is. They don't list pictures or things like that. And you could waste a lot of time on Craigslist just because you could go to meet somebody to buy something and they don't show up. I've had sellers, you guys may have a lot of problems with buyers. There's a lot of flaky buyers. They say they'll meet you someplace and they don't show up, and it can be pretty annoying. As for buying or selling stuff on here, always meet some people at a public place. You want to meet someplace where there's other people around. Yeah, you guys have heard about some of those Craigslist murders and other weird stuff. So I always tell people meet in public places. Don't put your phone numbers on here. People say, yeah, call me, whatever. Everybody, you have to have email to list it on here, so you might as well use your email to contact initially. Listing your phone number on a public website that can be seen globally usually isn't a good idea. So that's something to keep in mind. One of the big problems with Craigslist is that you can't really do a directed search for an item. I mean, you can, but when you're searching locally, there's probably not going to be a whole lot of listings for a specific radio brand or model. One of the things I like to use is something called searchcraigslist.org. It's a search that goes through and searches all Craigslists across the country. You can type in a specific model name. In this case, we've typed in Unit and Grant, and it'll go through and tell us every place a Unit and Grant XL is listed in every Craigslist across the country. So, this obviously is not going to be a local sale. You're going to try and find someone that's going to ship something to you. But this is a good way to find radios that are cheaper. If you're trying to find a deal, you can search, nationwide, and it kind of opens up the market for you. You can find a radio that maybe is someplace that the guy's selling for $100 or someplace else he's selling for $75. You will run into postings that have been deleted by the authors. The search all of Craigslist is a little bit delayed sometimes. But generally speaking, I find it's a good place to search. You can search Galaxy 88 or, Galaxy 95T, and you'll find radios for sale that you wouldn't have found otherwise on Craigslist or you wouldn't have found on radio forums. They're listed locally, but you're able to search globally. So it's a nice option to be able to do that on the search all of Craigslist. Again, with Craigslist, you got to be careful. Make sure you look at items. The selling isn't great because you can't list a whole lot of pictures, and there's no zoom. And now I'm going to do some shameless self-promotion here, guys. Hopefully you don't mind. I got fed up with dealing with eBay the other day, and they kicked off a couple of my items I was selling there, saying that they weren't allowed to be sold, amplifiers or export radios. So I created a website called CB Radio Classifieds. This is a really easy-to-use software. I incorporated it into my cbradiomagazine.com website. So if you go to cbradiomagazine.com, you can see the link to this. And trying to make a new place to buy and sell radios that it's not a forum, so you don't have to be a member of a forum to buy or sell or have so many posts or things like that. It's not like eBay. There's no fees or anything like that, and there's no restrictions on what you can buy or sell. The website's really easy to use. You can go in and search for items that you're looking for. You can type unit in, search unit in the different categories. You can even go in and refine your search a bit easier and say, I'm looking for items under, $100 is the max price. You hit apply. It'll get rid of the more expensive items. The website itself, to use it, to buy or sell, you do have to create a login. The login process is super easy. I'll show you that in a minute. But you've got your categories here, mobile radios, base radios, export radios, amplifiers, antennas, meters. And I've tried to make it, so it's very categorized and it's very easy to look at. You can post your descriptions. You can post the amount that the radio is going for sale. And you can post pictures. The pictures in the ads, you can go into the ad and you can post up to 6 pictures. And you can zoom in on the pictures. So a lot of information you can post in here. It's a little harder, on Craigslist to post good pictures that you can zoom in on. But here you can post the price, you can post your title, you can put it in the right category, you can say where you are. So you can sell it locally if you want to on here, or you can sell it online. Someone can contact you and you can sell it via PayPal. It's just a good way for people to link up and buy or sell radios. Here's the zoom feature. You can zoom in and see pictures of the radio. And here's another example of what an ad looks like. You can go in, you can click on the pictures. The pictures will come up. You can scroll through and look at all the different pictures. And, it's a little bit of a zoom feature, so you can see stuff a little bit more close up than you can in some of the Craigslist ads. No restriction on the description. You can put quite a bit of information in there. You can put radio manufacturer information. You can list, your details for payment and shipping if you're willing to ship, all those types of things. To contact a seller when you want to buy something, you do need to log in or you need to register, like I said before, and that's just to make sure we don't get a whole lot of spam. To register for an account, it's free, it's easy. You type in a username that you want to put on here, you type in a password, and you type in your email. You'll get an email that says, hey, click here to verify your registration. You do that, and then you're registered. Logging in from then on is super easy. You can list items. It'll list it on the location here. So if you're in a certain area, you can search by state. And that's pretty much it. It's just a very easy, simple to use classified website. I'm really hoping to build this up and have it be a good place for people to buy and sell without having to go through eBay and be annoyed by buying or selling rules and all that type of stuff. So once again, the website is called CB Radio Classifieds. It's on my cbradiomagazine.com domain. And like I said, sorry for the shameless self-promotion here, but got to get the word out to get it started. There's some items that I've listed on there, and I've already got a couple other people listing items on there. So when you get a chance, check it out, cbradiomagazine.com.